Hi again. Today, this is day 4, and we're studying the Go Thunk Yourself book, basic. Yesterday we covered the second day of just the theory of everything, the underlying paper behind this. Today we're actually getting into each individual lesson. Now, I mentioned yesterday there's a point of purpose. Now, this is different than reason. Reason is what we're covering today. Reason to change something you shoot for, a goal. Purpose is, as I mentioned yesterday, Nightingale described it in his tape series on leadership, that a purpose, there's two types of people. There's river people and goal people, which I probably don't have that right, but the river people have a river of interest, right? And the goal people they will achieve a goal and then go and set a new goal to achieve, right? But the river people just keep going and going and going. And this is what we're talking about, a purpose. A reason is more like a goal. It's anything you want to improve in your life. As I was going over the lesson today, I went, that's really the key part, right? It's just pick anything that if you want to lose weight, if you want to start dressing better, if you want to walk more erect, if you want to eat better, or you want to watch more baseball every day, make it your life. You don't have enough baseball in your life. It can happen, whatever makes you happy is what we really want to achieve in this, because you're following your bliss, you're moving towards narrowing down focus on your own purpose, and your life will start running better. There's a synchronicity that happens when you're actually on purpose. In here, we're just taking a simple step of you decide something you want to change, something you want to improve, and then you just go for it, right? And it's just simple. It's just a decision that there is something you'd like to change. That's the simplicity of what we have, right? There's this great thing about Mary Kay Ash. I have these quotes in each start. There are 3 types of people in this world: those who make things happen, those who watch things happen, and those who wonder what happened. Mary Kay, of course, founded Mary Kay Cosmetics, huge thing. But, so this is the whole point. You just have one thing or a handful of things, but let's say we got one thing, just to make it simple, one thing that you want to change in your life, right? Now, there's a key point that I put in bold in this chapter that we should cover. And at the tail end of that paper, I'd already encountered, as I found out, that I'd already encountered Huna, which is the oldest known philosophy on the planet, right? The second principle of Huna is that there are no limits, or that we are all connected. And that point, along with the first point, which is that the world is what you think it is, but the second point specifically starts to explain why the golden rule works. Because you and I are connected not just by this video, but other ways as well. I could go on for hours about that. But the whole point here is, especially with the golden rule, is you can't get without giving, and that's what's in bold on this point. And it's just a key point. There's truly no free lunch or free beer. So any idea that just reading a book you're going to get better without doing something yourself is a false one. Life itself is a lesson that you get out what you put in. The more you work at something, the better you will get at it. Musicians practice daily, sports stars practice daily, actors rehearse over and over, even if they memorize their lines to perfection. Even though they've given the show time after time for weeks, practice makes perfect. Or as somebody recently, practice makes permanent, right? And so the same thing is with self-help. Says you have to work at it. You have to do something in order to get it. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to win the lottery. Well, 1 out of a million, maybe that does work. But for the rest of us, let's go, what are you going to do to win the lottery? I think I even covered that somewhere, is the point of, well, you're going to have to buy a ticket to win the lottery, at least one. Nobody just hands it to you, right? So there is some action to any step, any decision, anything you want to change. Now, just to bring this educate you or bring you up to speed on this book, every book, the page was written in so I come from a computer background. Used to fix computers all the time just because I like to fix things. But so I learned a lot of stuff, and so pretty much this book was written on the basis of a learn fill in the blank programming language in 21 days, right? Well, in 14 days, I wanted to say you can change your whole life in 14 days, and so there's 14 points. So in each thing I give you a brief description. Each chapter I give you a brief description how this particular point works, and then give you the daily exercises to follow. So as you go along with this, and I know every day I could talk for a half an hour probably on each point, but I'm trying to keep these videos short. I don't rehearse them. I just give it to you straight. So they change their length. And as I get better, probably about the 300th video, this thing will be down to an art, right? So the whole point of this, you're going to study it. If you're following along with me, which is I encourage, then we'll read the chapter, or you'll read the chapter. I'll cover it in brief and cover anything I've found out since, or anything this is actually helping me with, straightened out in my own life as I go back through this myself. So the chapter will be the title, we'll have a video on it, we'll have a brief discussion of it, clarification of it, and then the exercises at the end. For this day, it says, in this book, you write something down. Just decide to write something down right now. Write down the margin of this book or some back pages, blank, or a separate page, exactly what it is that you want to change. You can always modify this later, change it to something entirely different if you want to. But that's the promise of the premise of self-help. You can change something about your life if you want to. So it just said, look, take some blank page and write it down. Day 1, exercise 1. Take what you wrote down and put it on a card. Now turn that card over and write the same phrase in the past tense. Instead of, I'd like to have a new car, write, I have a new car. Put that card on your nightstand so you see it last thing at night, first thing in the morning. If you can, write another card, duplicate it, and take it to work. Take it to where you work so you can keep this in mind in spare moments during the day. We'll cover that while you're doing that later. For now, just get the object you're trying to improve out there in front of you so you can study the rest of the book. This comes up over and over and over, this card thing, right? And a lot of people say, and Napoleon Hill covers this to some degree. You have that card, first thing in the morning you review that card. I have a new car, or I feel better, or I've lost some weight, right? Or I've lost 5 pounds. And then you put that in your mind. First vision, I'd say do that before you get out of bed, do that in breakfast, say it aloud, right? However you want to do it. Get that in your mind first thing. Then at lunch, when you take your lunch break, take some time to yourself, sit down, relax, go over this card and say it to yourself that this is, and so that keeps it in the mind all day. You want it, and then in the evening, before you go to bed, read this again, right? To the point, there's something that happens at night, which is, don't have time to go into it in this video, but the whole point, that keeps it 24 hours a day. You now start thinking about this thing you want to change, and you envision it as, I've lost weight, I've lost 5 pounds, right? Or I have more time for baseball in my life, you know? And as you keep orienting yourself to this thing, as you put focus again on it, then this stuff will start showing up synchronicities in your life, and things will start happening for you. Second point was select a room where you can be alone and undisturbed. Sit in a comfortable chair, erect. Do not lounge. Stand up, sit up straight. Let your thoughts roam as they will, but be perfectly still from 15 minutes to a half an hour. Practice this daily and you'll be able to start controlling your body and its physical area. A lot of kids, especially our younger kids, educated these days, were never taught to control their body. Now, when they go out for sports, they start learning this, and this is a key point, having sports in there. Even music, right? It's a point of you have to control what you're doing in order to cooperate with the greater whole or just to do anything. So the whole point of this, the next part of this, sit down, someplace where you're quiet and you're not going to be disturbed, and just sit. Sit upright. Don't lay down in a bed. Just sit. Think of whatever you want. We're just going to get this skill down of just being able to realize and control the body. Third point, next in the same chair, be perfectly still, but allow the muscles in the body to relax, along with every nerve until you feel quiet and restful, more quiet and restful. Mastering this will be easier as you practice it, enabling you to apply it while at work or home, making life easier to appreciate and enjoy. This is the point of when you relax, for instance, for one thing, you can't be angry. But as you relax, you learn to control at any time. You're able to relax your body. And so then that opens up a whole new thing. We'll cover it in later today chapters, what you want to do. It comes from Master Key System. I borrow these points from across the wide gamut of all these books to take the best points so you have a daily practice to do. Today, make your card, whatever you want to change in your life, flip it over and write in the present tense that you already have that, or in the past tense that you already have that. If you want to lose 5 pounds, said, I want to lose 5 pounds. Write it down and said, I have lost 5 pounds. Right, and that's the one you say to yourself every day. Take a card with you, put one on your nightstand, put one in your workplace or within your wallet, your purse, so you can study it, right? And even if you want to, if you have the room for it, tuck it in a thing right at eye level or close to eye level as you can in your workspace, so at some central place, like above your computer, somewhere. So the whole point is to be able to keep focused on whatever you want to change and concentrate on the fact that you already have changed it, right? Now, when you get home at night, then you find a place where you can just sit, and you just learn to sit until you can do that easily. Then the next step after that is to learn to relax. Sit and relax. Do nothing. Just sit and relax. And as you build these things up, we'll be doing this every day. Or you can actually, the other thing you can do is do one lesson for a whole week, and then do the next lesson for the next week. So in 14 weeks, you will have gotten through all this stuff. But the practice steps are something you can do and do and do and do. And you'll find out as we go along how that works. But for today, get your card, find a time and place where you can sit, where nobody's going to bother you, right? And you can just sit, and then learn to relax. Okay? Day 5 coming up. Thanks.